Hello guys, welcome to my channel Mini Medical Biology, and I hope you are doing all well. And I thought to have a discussion with you. But before starting the discussion, I would like you to subscribe my channel and get the latest update of my videos as soon as possible. So, in this session, I'm going to talk about the systems of the human body. You know that how human body is a complex and the body is composed of many kind of systems. So in this session we are going to talk about one of the systems of the human body. So first of all, I would like to tell you that how the system is composed of. So as you all know, the cell formed together leads to the formation of tissue. And tissue will group together to form organs, and many organs group together to form system. So system is nothing but group of organs, right? And a system, the group of system will compose the whole body, a whole complex body. And human body is also composed of various types of systems. So today we are going to talk about the digestive system. Digestion is also performed by a system called digestive system, and in this session we are going to discuss what is digestion. Okay, so in this session we are going to discuss what is digestion, how the digestive system is organized. So digestive system organization, okay, and then we'll discuss the digestion of food inside the digestive system. Digestion of food. So generally we take the nutrients are of 5 kinds, right? That are the carbohydrate, protein, fats and minerals. Okay. So in this we need to focus on the digestion of carbohydrate, proteins and fat. Okay. So but for the today's session, I am going to only discuss you about the digestion of carbohydrate in our digestive system. So before starting the digestion of carbohydrate, I would like to tell you how the digestive system is formed and what are the organization of the digestive systems. So as I told you already, the system is composed of few organs together that performs a similar task. Group of organs. So system is what? Group of organs. So this is your digestive system. I made a rough diagram of the digestive system, and this digestive system contains the various organs, and I am going to tell you the organization of that organ and function of the various organs. So this is the mouth part. This is your mouth part, which comprises of teeth, tongue and salivary gland. Okay. And after the mouth part, we have this long structure which is known as food pipe, or you can say esophagus. This food pipe is also called esophagus. Okay. After esophagus, your food will reaches to the stomach region. So this long structure is stomach portion. So stomach is also an organ. And after the stomach, your food will reaches to the red part, that is small intestine first. Okay. So this is your small intestine part. And after the small intestine, the food will reaches to the large intestine. This is your large intestine. And in the small intestine, the digestion process has been completed. In large intestine, absorption of water will take place, and after that, the food will no longer become food. Why? Because all the nutrient content will already extracted in the small intestine portion, and rest of the waters and minerals are extracted in the large intestine portion. So when the food is moving out of the large intestine, it become no longer food. It become waste product of your body, which is called fecal matter, and that fecal matter is stored in this portion, which is known as rectum. So rectum stores the undigested food, which is no use for your body, and that undigested food is later passed out of your body via organ called anus. Okay, so this is the pathway of food, how the food travels from the mouth to the anus region. But there are some accessory organs also where the food will not go for the digestion purpose, but that organ will also helps in the digestion part. So that organ is your liver, which secretes the bile juice for your digestion purpose, and this is gallbladder, which helps in the storing of bile juice. So liver will produce the bile juice, gallbladder will store that bile juice, and one more organ we have which helps in the digestion, that is pancreas. The green portion, this is pancreas. So pancreas will secrete some digestive enzyme, which is also leading in the digestion process. So this is the basic organization of digestive system. So what are the organs composed of this digestive system is your mouth, then your esophagus, then stomach, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the basic function of each of the organs. So what is the function of mouth here? Mouth, I told you, is consist of teeth, tongue, and salivary gland. Okay, so teeth, what is the purpose of teeth here? Teeth helps in the chewing and grinding of the food, and tongue will help you obviously get the taste and mixing of the food properly. And we have salivary glands. So where are the salivary glands present? Generally we have three types of salivary glands in our mouth portion, that is, salivary gland is of three. I mean, we have three salivary glands present in our mouth. First one is parotid gland, sublingual gland, and submandible gland. Okay, so parotid, sublingual, and submandible. So these are the three glands which secrete the enzyme called salivary amylase. Salivary amylase. Okay, and this salivary amylase will help in the digestion of starch. Okay, so this is the location. One must be present here on the top, and one must be present bottom, and one must be present some out above your top portion. Okay, so this is the location of your salivary gland. Clear? What is the function of esophagus here? Esophagus will channels the food from the mouth and it export that food to the stomach portion, right? What is the function of stomach here? Now, once the food is coming from the esophagus portion, the amount of food which is coming, it's need to be regulated. Okay, so stomach is going to regulate the amount coming from the esophagus portion, and by regulation of the food, for the regulation we have one muscle above the stomach which is known as sphincter muscle. The stomach portion, the amount has been regulated by our sphincter muscles. Okay, and when the food reaches outside the stomach, then also amount of food is need to be regulated. So that means at the starting of the stomach and at the ending of the stomach, sphincter muscles must be present. And after the stomach portion, the food will reach to the duodenum portion. Now I'll rub this to explain you the clear. Okay, otherwise it must be confusing for you by seeing the diagram, because it become very complex right now. Okay, so I told you the stomach function of stomach. In stomach, what happen is some gastric juices will secrete. Okay, and that gastric juices will helps in the digestion of protein especially, and along with the gastric juices, HCl is also produced inside the stomach. What is the role of HCl here? HCl will provide the pH, acidic pH around 1 to 2. So 1 to 2 pH is necessary for the digestion of protein, so that the gastric juices which is produced for the digestion of protein, it can activated by the HCl. Okay, so once the digestion is completed in the stomach portion, the food will reach to the end point of the stomach and starting point of the stomach. So end point of the stomach and the starting point of the small intestine, there is one gland, and this gland is called duodenum gland. Duodenum gland. Okay, what this duodenum gland will do is, in this duodenum gland, mixing of all the digestive enzyme will take place. Okay, so mixing of digestive enzyme will take place in the duodenum region. And how these digestive enzymes are going to produce? So these digestive enzymes are going to produced by our another organ which is called pancreas. So what is the role of pancreas in the digestion? Is pancreas will secrete some digestive enzyme that will go to the duodenum region and mix with the food and helps in the further degradation of the food. Okay, so digestion in the duodenum region is completed, and after the duodenum region, the food will move to the organ called small intestine. In a small intestine, we still have some intestinal juices which completes the digestion process. So whatever rest the undigested food is remained, the intestinal juices will degrade that food into the simplest form. And you must know that what is the simplest form of the food. So I told you already that in this session we are going to talk about the macromolecules, that is carbohydrate, protein and fat. So the simplest form of the carbohydrate is glucose or any monosaccharide unit, that is glucose, fructose, lactose, galactose. Lactose is not a simplest unit, galactose is there. So carbohydrate will convert it to the simplest monosaccharide, and protein will convert it to the amino acids, and fat will convert it to the fatty acid plus glycerol. Okay. So this is the simplest form of the food that we generally intake. Okay. Once the food gets converted into the simplest form, it needs to be absorbed and sent to the various parts of your body. That's why the breakdown of food is necessary, because food cannot travel at the same time to all parts of your body, right? So it's need to be degraded in a small portion so that it can travel via blood and it reach the maximum part of your body at once. Okay. So once the food is converted to the simplest form in the small intestine region, I'll tell you what happened is, so this is, suppose this is the wall of small intestine. Okay. I'm going to draw the wall of the small intestine, and this small intestine contains a micro projection which is called villi. So this micro projection is called villi, and this villi is composed of dense network of fine capillaries. Okay, and capillaries are also blood vessels, right? So that means whatever the food is converted in the small intestine portion, it is absorbed by the villi, and via villi it transported to the capillary, and capillary is a blood vessel. That means your food is reaches to the blood, and you know very well the blood is transported into all over your body, and so via blood this food will move to the rest part of your body. Okay, and hence the body will utilize that food to yield the energy, and this is what for digestion is used. So this is the complete digestion. Your food is utilized by your body for production of energy, right? And now what happened to the rest of the food? Once the food is absorbed, the nutritional content is absorbed by the small intestine portion, and whatever the rest of food is, it will travel to the large intestine part. So small intestine, after the small intestine, food will move to the large intestine portion, and in large intestine absorption will take place. Absorption of water and mineral. So here complete nutritional structure, complete the nutrition is completed, and nothing is left in your food but the undigested part, which is not utilized by your body. So that undigested part will further move to the portion called rectum. Rectum will store that undigested part, and after onwards the undigested parts need to be removed from your body, and it will remove via anus. If the undigested part is not removed from your body, then it will create some toxicity in your body, and which is very harmful for you, and it causes some the digestive disorders, which is not a good sign for you. Okay. Now this process is completed. I'll tell you the organization of digestive system and what are the organs in it and what is the main function of that organ. Now we'll see the digestion of each macromolecule, that is carbohydrate, protein and fat individually. Okay, so I'm going to explain you the complete digestion of carbohydrate first. So digestion of carbohydrate, right? So in the digestion of carbohydrate, these are the organs which are going to participate in it. First your mouth portion, then your esophagus, and then your small intestine portion, and after that large intestine, of course the rectum and anus part. What is the function of mouth here? As I told you, the mouth is comprised of teeth and tongue, which will help in the mixing of the food properly and chewing and grind the food. It will break down the food mechanically into the different portion, and that food is acted by salivary amylase enzyme. Salivary amylase enzyme, which is secreted by salivary gland, which is secreted by salivary gland. Okay, so this salivary gland will secrete the salivary amylase, and what that salivary amylase will do is, this is your complex carbohydrate structure which is present in your food, but by the action of salivary amylase, it will, carbohydrate is a complex molecule obviously, so not all the portion of carbohydrate is digested by the salivary amylase, but the starch portion. In the carbohydrate, starch is also present. Starch is also a type of carbohydrate. So that starch which is present in your carbohydrate, by the action of salivary amylase, it gets converted to the maltose, which is a disaccharide unit. Okay, so that means your component is break down into smaller unit, and that's what the digestion process is called. Okay, breaking down of food in a smaller unit. Clear? So this is the function of mouth. Now food will travel to the esophagus part. Obviously it channels the food from the mouth to the intestine. It channels the food from mouth to small intestine. So this is the function of esophagus. Now food will reaches to the duodenum region. Before the intestine, obviously it will reach to the duodenum region. Okay, so what happened inside the duodenum? Suppose this is your duodenum region. No, I must draw it somewhere like this. This is your duodenum region. Okay, and this is your gallbladder portion along with liver, and here we have pancreas, and obviously this is your stomach portion. So you can see here that three organs, the stomach, the pancreas and the liver portion, is connected here. Okay, so this is your liver, pancreas and stomach. All three are connected here by a duct called Hepatobilary Duct. Clear? So what is the role of this hepatobilary duct here is that when the food from the stomach portion reaches to the duodenum region, what happens is, here I told you the function of duodenum is the mixing of the digestive enzyme will take place here, right? So how the digestive enzyme came from? I mean, from where the digestive enzyme came from? That digestive enzyme came from the pancreas portion. Okay, this is your pancreas. Pancreas will secrete digestive enzyme. Okay, pancreas will secrete digestive enzyme, but before secretion of the enzyme, the duodenum region as well as the pancreas region need to be activated, right? So anything cannot get activated by its own, okay? So activation of pancreas and duodenum is required. And how this pancreas and duodenum get activated? From your small intestine, a small intestine release one enzyme called chyme acid. Your small intestine will release one chyme acid, and that chyme acid will activate duodenum, and it also releases one enzyme called pancreozymin. Pancreozyme. And obviously this pancreozymin will activate pancreas. Okay. So once the small intestine will release the chyme acid, it will further activate duodenum, and pancreozymin will activate the pancreas. Then only pancreas will able to secrete the digestive enzyme. Okay. And that digestive enzyme is going to release in the duodenum region. And that digestive enzyme that pancreas release is pancreatic amylase. And this pancreatic amylase will help in the digestion of duodenum starch. So the starch present in the duodenum region, which has left in your mouth, remain undigested, it is going to be digested in the duodenum region by the help of pancreatic amylase enzyme and get converted to maltose again, which is a disaccharide unit. Clear? So the duodenal starch, by the action of pancreatic amylase, get converted to the maltose form. Okay. Maltose again, it is a disaccharide unit. So hence the digestion in the duodenum region is completed for the carbohydrate portion, and your food will reach to the small intestine part. Okay. Clear? Your food will reach to the small intestine portion, and in the small intestine portion some gastric juices, some intestinal juices are secreted. Okay. So in the small intestine portion some intestinal juices are secreted. Again, that intestinal juices, it's need to be activated for its secretion, right? So how these intestinal juices are going to secrete? how these intestinal juices are going to activate. So here the duodenum, what it will do is duodenum will secrete one enzyme, and that enzyme is called enterocrinin. So this is very important because it is not mentioned in your NCERT textbook. So it's need to be remembered that duodenum release one enzyme called enterocrinin, and which activates the intestinal juices, and that intestinal juices are going to act upon your carbohydrates. Clear? So that intestinal juices are sucrase, lactase, and maltase. Okay, so if the carbohydrate sucrose is present in your food, then sucrase enzyme will going to act upon it. So sucrose is the carbohydrate which must be present in your food. That is a disaccharide unit which can be degraded by the pancreatic amylase, and that sucrose will, by the action of sucrase enzyme, get converted into two monosaccharide unit, that is fructose plus glucose. Clear? So sucrose is converted into fructose plus glucose, and if the sugar lactose is present in your carbohydrate, the enzyme lactase is going to act upon it, and it will convert the lactose sugar into galactose plus glucose. Okay, and if the sugar maltose is present in your food, then maltase enzyme will act upon it and convert these maltose sugar into 2 units of glucose. So these are the disaccharides, as I told you. So disaccharides means 2 units of the carbohydrate it will contain, and once this disaccharide is degraded, that means 2 units of monosaccharides will formed. So here are the 2 units of the monosaccharides. It's formed by the each of the enzyme action. Clear? So now we have this complex carbohydrate present, which is now converted to the simplest form of the carbohydrate, that is monosaccharide unit. Okay, and now this simplest form of carbohydrate is absorbed by the finger-like projection of which is lined along the inner wall of the small intestine, that is called villi. So villi will absorb these nutrients, and villi is aligned with some blood vessels, small blood vessels called capillaries, and that capillaries will absorb this nutrition because now it's become very small in size and it can easily travel to the blood to the rest part of your body. Okay, and hence your body will have the access on this nutrition for yielding of energy for your body, right? So this is the digestion of carbohydrate which is completed now, and rest of the food is traveled to the large intestine portion, and via large intestine the absorption of water and mineral will take place, and remain the undigested food will store in the rectum and later on passed by the anus. So this is the digestion of carbohydrate is completed now. And in the next session, we are going to discuss about the digestion of protein and fat, and I'll also tell you the digestive disorder related to the digestive system and To watch my video again, just subscribe my channel and press the bell icon below. Thank you.